Hi everyone, I'm Amy Botinsky, Chief Operating Officer at Zillow Group. Today we're going to try something new with this video. We have a couple of new initiatives that we'll be testing later this month for Premier Agents, and we want to tell you about them here for the first time. So with me is Greg Schwartz.
Hi, Amy.
Hi, Greg, Chief Business Officer at Zillow Group. Greg, start off with why are we here? What
Sure.
are we talking about today?
Yeah, we're going to give a little peek. Premier agents and our broker partners often ask for a little insight into what we're thinking, what we're building, and where we're going to go together. And so that's what today's all about. The insight that's driving a lot of the changes we're going to announce today is this. A mobile phone has become undoubtedly the remote control for all of our lives, really. Whether I'm booking a doctor's appointment, ordering dinner, or buying a car, I pull out my mobile phone to do it. And I want control. I want it to be on demand. And I want it to be all about me in many ways. Maybe that's just me, I don't know.
It's all of us.
It is really all of us. Undoubtedly, that's coming to real estate. Folks want to have that level of transparency and insight into the real estate process. So it's all about, Amy, reducing consumer anxiety. The anxiety that we feel when we're buying or selling a home is almost freezes you.
Right, so you talked about consumer anxiety, and all of these things have helped, but you and I, we hear from Premier Agents every day about the anxiety that agents are feeling.
Sure.
The anxiety of balancing their lives and potential clients and current clients. And we talked to one just the other day, Beth from Seattle, who was nice enough to share with us a video of an incident she recently had. Let's watch it.
Let's do it.
Murphy's Law real estate is leads are going to come at the most inconvenient time. I was recently going to parent-teacher conferences, and I got an email lead, and I waited the 15 to 20 minutes after the conference and replied. By that time, the client had already built rapport and asked all the questions they needed of another agent, and so I lost the lead.
I know Beth. She's a wonderful professional. She's a wonderful Premier agent. And, she has the right to go to a parent-teacher interview. So we need to change the process to give consumers the on-demand nature that they want, but give Beth the opportunity to step out for a moment and work with another customer or see her kids or do other important things, right?
Right, so we're testing something
We
that
are.
we think is going to help, that we're
Yes.
going to roll out this month, starting in one market.
Yes.
Tell us what it is.
Okay, so here it is. So we're going to change the metaphor a little bit. Right now, when you're a Premier agent, you get a lead and then you start sprinting. And often those leads go into your inbox or into your voicemail because you might not have been available. And that's not the right model because it doesn't give consumers what they want and it puts a lot of anxiety on the professional. So here's what happens when a consumer contacts on Zillow or Trulia. The actual contact is going to go each and every time into the concierge system. If it's after hours, often they'll be texting. And they won't be talking to someone live because they don't expect to. During hours, there'll be a combination of text and actual voice, talking to one of our folks, depending on what the consumer wants to do, how they want to communicate. We're going to start testing the concept of validated buyers and sellers. So we're really moving away from the concept of a lead, and we're really moving to the concept of validated human beings. We're going to qualify that consumer to make sure they're serious about buying or selling, like they really want to move forward. And then we're going to find out when they want to talk to an agent. It could be immediately, it could be the next day. We're going to let the consumer drive that. And then when that consumer's ready to roll, we're going to make the connection with an agent. Now, if that agent isn't ready to roll because they're in parent-teacher interview, that's okay. They don't have to answer the phone. So I think that's going to be a really exciting change. It keeps the core of having a very predictable growth platform, but adds this de-stressing layer for everyone involved and gives consumers what they really want, which is this on-demand, transparent experience. What do you think, Amy?
Well, so let me try to recap because
Yes.
this sounds pretty monumental. So Premier agents decide when they are ready for their phones to ring.
That's right.
And when their phones ring, it is a consumer that Zillow Group has validated, a consumer who has said, I am ready to talk to an agent because I'm ready to buy a home, and I want to talk to that agent right now.
Yep.
So it's better for the consumer because they can talk to an agent when they're ready, and it's better for the Premier agent because they can decide when they're ready to take these calls, and they can balance the life.
So that's exciting in its own right. But the other part, which is really, I think, going to make the anxiety for real estate agents, for Premier agents, reduced a little bit is a change to the share of voice concept. When Beth is sitting there in a family event or working with another customer, or when any of our Premier agents are, if they're busy, they don't have to answer the phone, and there's no fear of loss. Because share of voice, which is impression focused today, what we're going to test is moving it to share of connections. So if you're working and you're unavailable, or it's 3 a.m., don't pick up the phone if you're a Perimeter agent. What you're able to do is let the system do the qualification, and then we'll go ahead and paste those opportunities proportional to your share of voice.
So we're testing this Montana, right? One market first and then rolling it out?
That's perfect. Yeah, so we'll start in Montana this month. Now our Perimeter agents and Perimeter brokers will have plenty of opportunity to tell us what they think.
I think they will.
I know they will. And then I hope to have this live certainly by the end of the year nationally. And I think we'll be in a great spot.
That's terrific. So let's shift gears for a moment, and I want to
bet.
talk about sellers. We talk to a lot of sellers here, and I think there's a constant theme we always hear is it is so stressful, and there's so much anxiety in the process of selling because so many sellers at the same time are also buyers. So there's timing complexity, there's financial complexity.
There's getting the kids and the dog out of the house.
There's
getting the cleanup done.
Yeah, it's a total pain. And compound that with the fact that so many sellers do live in this on-demand economy where
You
they're
bet.
used to things moving fast in the palm of their hand. So in studying sellers, we came up with this idea to test last year called instant offers. And it's
Yes.
something we've talked to Premier agents about before, but we haven't really updated people in a while.
Yep.
So remind everyone what instant offers is and tell us how it's been going.
Yeah, so instant offers, pretty simple opportunity. So consumer comes to Zillow. They're thinking about selling their house. They've looked at the Zestimate probably. They've looked at some comps. They type in their address. They get a non-binding offer within a day or two, really, from an investor. Next to that investor offer, with a real price on it, that a real investor would pay, is a CMA from a Perimeter agent or a Perimeter broker. The consumer can evaluate those two things side by side, and the vast majority of the time, when they take action, and by the way, Amy, a lot of them take action. This is really a hand-raising opportunity for them. They actually list with an agent through a traditional MLS opportunity. And you bet that we want that to be a Perimeter agent.
And what we've heard from Premier agents, so we've been testing this in 2 markets,
Yes.
in Las Vegas and Orlando. We've had a number of Premier agents who have partnered with us on this test. And what we've heard from them over and over again is, wow, this is
Yeah.
such a source of real sellers, that
Yes.
these sellers, homeowners, have taken this action to call me and to look at the CMA and to say, I'm ready to sell right now. And I want us to look at what one of them had to tell us the other day.
Hi there, I'm Kirby Scofield with Scofield Realty. We've always had a great partnership with Zillow on the online leads, but the holy grail has always been seller leads. With the Instant Offer program, we couldn't be more happy and enthusiastic with our future business on listings with how they've nailed this program. Thank you, Zillow, for the Instant Offer program, and I look forward to the future with it.
But this is still a 2-market test. And now we're ready to expand it with a couple of new things.
Yes, new.
So tell us what's new with instant offers.
Yes, this video is all about what's new. Okay, first, we're going to expand to Phoenix. So Phoenix, Las Vegas, and Orlando. Exciting. The other more significant change than just a market expansion is Zillow Group is going to start buying and selling houses. I know that's kind of a big deal, buying and selling houses. Of course, working with Perimeter agents and Perimeter brokers to represent the transaction, to represent us. Why would we do this? I think that's probably going to be a frequent question. It's because we believe it's going to be a vibrant line of business for all of us, both our company as well as Perimeter agents and Perimeter brokers. So 3 ways for our partners to participate. First, of course, we need agents and brokers to produce CMAs. And they'll get a lot of exposure at a really important time with sellers, really. Second way to participate is Zillow will, of course, need agents and brokers to represent us when we're buying and selling. And of course, we're going to pay commissions on that. Agents have someone that's trying to move fast or has a lot of anxiety and maybe is appropriate for this investor route. Those agents can come to Zillow, request one of these non-binding offers, and then they can present it to their sellers, and that agent would earn a traditional commission.
So a lot of new news we talked about today. If I were to summarize, it all falls under moving away from leads to connections. So better buyer connections,
Yep.
better, more intended seller connections, and ultimately more business for our Premier agent and Premier broker partners.
That's right, Amy. Hey, there's another thread through this. this on-demand economy, this on-demand world that we're all participating in today, it's not tomorrow, it's right here, doesn't have to exclude us. And when I say us, I mean Premier Agents, I mean brokers, and I mean Zillow. We're going to lean in together through these partnerships, through these great relationships, and we're going to drive the future. And I think it's going to be a compelling one.
I'm excited.
Me too.
So we've covered so much today, and to find out more about everything we talked about, you can visit the Premier Agent Resource Center, where we have a whole bunch of information. But thank you so much for joining us. I hope that we can do more of these videos in the future to update you on Premier Agent. Thank you, Greg.
Thanks, Amy. Bye.
We'll see you next time.